Tom, lele, Mayan.
following is a special presentation. From the Captain eSports Network.
This isn't just a game. This is iRacing. While part of America is getting ready for landfall of a major hurricane here in just a little bit, a decent portion of those drivers actually in this race going to be affected by the storm tonight, but we're going to do our best not to let the storms affect the racing here this evening as we get ready to go for the Kentucky Speedway, the Legacy Kentucky Speedway, the better Kentucky Speedway, if I may dare say, as we get ready for racing tonight in the Bluegrass State 200, presented by Powter, Kote Plus, from this track that sits pretty much on the border of the Ohio, Indiana, and Kentucky areas. A track that, well, is going to be sitting underneath this storm here in a couple days, literally, as we get ready for round number 8 of this All-American Cup Series season, presented, of course, by its premier partner of Sim Racer Hub. I am the captain. We get you ready for 134 laps of racing here this evening, and, of course, our main thoughts and prayers are with those that are going to be affected by Hurricane Helene here in the next little bit. I know we've got some people right there in that Panhandle area, some people in Georgia. Obviously, as you go up into Tennessee and Kentucky, and as this storm really quickly moves. So the best thing I figured I could do, and I know the focus is going to be on the racing tonight, but is to be able to let those watching the stream tonight still be able to see kind of what's going on with the storm. So I've actually got the Weather Channel app up in my background and have, this is basically the radar from the app. So if you're wondering where it's coming from here, and I'm hoping it will kind of update itself throughout the broadcast here so you can kind of see what's going on. But it looks like the storm somewhere going to hit to the east of Tallahassee, Florida here in probably the next 4 hours or so, 3 hours. So yeah, it looks like from there. So, yeah, anything I can help with on that end, and you're watching on the broadcast tonight, please let me know, as I will try to help as much as I can. I actually have a little bit of meteorologist knowledge. I'm not one, but I did do a little bit of studying when I was in school and stuff like that of it, and one that loves weather. So if I can help with any kind of knowledge, ideas, and things like that, just let me know. But nonetheless, let's focus over here to the race, because we've got some very big-time battles going on here, including one that is in the points battle. And we'll talk about that here in just a few minutes. Of course, Mark Whitley, he and Stephen Miles up there at the top of the points, Miles leading. But then you got Matthew Weeks, who, of course, last week went to victory lane and looking to do so again. But let's take a look at this schedule, as, of course, tonight is Kentucky. Last week, Indianapolis, as Weeks went to victory lane after a little bit of a bump and run on Casey Carrington. And they have moved on since then. But Kentucky tonight, then the road course at Watkins Glen. Of course, Kansas, Talladega, Richmond, Charlotte, and Homestead when it is all said and done. So, according to my research that I got to do, this is the second visit to the Legacy Kentucky Speedway here in the All-American Cup Series. Of course, the last time was actually in the ARCA Series, back when the ARCA car was here. So, we will likely see a new track record coming up here in just a little bit here in the Cup side of things, and so on and so forth. And it's kind of funny because I had to kind of go back and double check this, because I'm like, wait a minute, I know we've raced at the Kentucky Speedway before in one of these seasons, and it turns out we had not. So it's been a while since we've been back here, and looking forward to seeing the racing here this evening at this track that was built back in the late 90s into 2000, and was supposed to host a Cup race and didn't until 2011. Then they decided to repave the track, and well, they decided to change the track up, and unfortunately it hasn't seen an ounce of racing on it since. Matter of fact, at one point it was a catch-all for the Fords, because they had to put the Ford F-150s and different trucks at a track that was being affected by, ironically, hurricanes and stuff like that. So interesting little factoid there. So get ready tonight for race number 2 in the history of the Cup Series here at the Kentucky Speedway. Of course, this being the 104th race now. Congrats to Craig Martin, who now has become the second driver in All-American Cup Series history to hit 100 starts. Of course, Casey Carrington being the first here just a couple weeks ago at race number 100. Practice going to wrap up right now, so we'll go to the track and get you ready for qualifying. And what we're going to do actually is a little bit of modification here for a second. We are going to slide this up here. I'm going to slide the weather up here. And want to try to get you the best view as I can here without, like I said, taking away from the racing here. So qualifying is, of course, presented by Mike Husby Designs. MHD Pole Award going to be awarded here to the fastest driver in qualifying. And that is, again, thanks to Mike Husby for his sponsorship in the series as we go pull up the exciting and TV1 cameras. And we're going to go out here and see who can put this thing on pole here tonight for this race. The track record, now, of course, as I mentioned, this is in an ARCA car, was a 32.3, I thought was the number I read. A 32.216. So these cars are likely to break the 31, if not down into the 32nd bracket when this thing is all said and done. So we'll have to see as the cars start to roll out. And here's the 21 car, Christopher Murphy, going to be the first one it looks like it's going to focus on here as Murphy works his way through turn 3 and 4. And he will cross the start-finish line right now and start his lap. D-shaped oval. Literally, when I say D-shaped, it is D. Matter of fact, when the people who built this track put it together, and the architects of it, they wanted to honor one of the heroes of this area of the land. Now, even though his hometown he calls Franklin, Tennessee, Owensboro, Kentucky, of course, the birth of Michael Waltrip and Darrell Waltrip and those guys. But Darrell, of course, is known as DW. The racetrack has the D part. The garage is the W, literally shaped like a W. As Justin Thompson has already broke the track record, 31:37. That is a full second faster already in the Cup cars. As who knows if that's going to hold up. As a matter of fact, it won't. Spence Thompson goes 31:33 here to go to the pole. Steve Ritter right now up to P3. Trevor McLaughlin up to 4th. Brad Delphier top 5. And still got plenty of cars to get laps in here. So let's see who else we got out on track as we ride with Murphy as he crosses line. 31:72. He will be P11 as of right now. Thomas Stokes in the 37 car. He is 7th right now. Jared Mahan in 9th. As here is Casbarro in the 13 car. 20th fastest right now as we switch over to Charles Van Schaik, the 00s. We're going to alternate a couple cars here, apparently, as Casbarro gets a little loose. And here comes Van Schaik now, looking for the pole. Of course, purple means they're on a pole lap. Green means they're faster. Yellow means they're not as fast as their previous lap. As Craig Martin qualifies P4 right now. Nick Leo slots into 18th. Has got a pretty full field of cars here. Spence right now still on the pole. As Nick going, still yet to, he's just starting to get out here on track there. He is in the 31 car. Casey Carrington on track. Matthew Weeks. Some of the heavy hitters coming out on track right now. In this overcast skies here at the Kentucky Speedway. In the town of Sparta. Right off I-71. Here's the Mom and Pop's 31 car across the line. And Nick Goen right now is in the 21st position, 31.89. Of course, he threw away that first lap, so let's see what he can do on lap number 2. As he works his way down the back straightaway into turn 3 and 4. As we see Carrington in the purple right now, is here comes the 31 across the line, and Nick Goen jumps to 5th. Good lap for him as Carrington puts her on the pole, 31.29. And let's see if Weeks can do something with this. Weeks coming off a top 5 run in his long-distance Bristol race just yesterday evening. He's 31.39 himself. Rob Nett of 42, Stephen Miles of 44. As Carrington brings her to pit road, let's see what Weeks can do. He's in the purple. He's got a shot as he brings her off of turn 4 across the start-finish line. Second by 6 1/1000ths of a second. And Casey Carrington gets the Mike Husby Designs Pole Award here at the Kentucky Speedway by that much in a track record run for all those guys. So congratulations to Casey on getting the MHD Pole Award this evening. All right, so the cars are going to get out here on track and get their warm-up laps in for the evening. And that'll get us ready for the pre-race show. As we take a look at the point standings entering tonight's race here at the Kentucky Speedway, to Stephen Miles leading the points right now by 5 over Mark Whitley. Casey Carrington third in the points, only 9 back. So we are just past the halfway point in the season. Race number 8 tonight out of 14. And we sit with 3 guys within 9 points of the points lead. This is one of the tighter battles we've had in league history. James Silver is 4th in points right now. Justin Thompson there in the 5th place position. Charles Van Schaik. Of course, Christopher Heller, Spence Thompson, and Nick Goen right there in 9th. And then John Osborne in 10th. The interesting part there when you look at the starts with Thompson and Goen, I've been kind of mentioning this. Both of those guys, 6 and 5 starts respectively amongst the 2 drivers. So they hadn't run the full season. And yet they are looking pretty good in the points right now, but still got some work to do to get up there and battle for the championship. All right, so also, not only is there a points battle for the season, there's an overall points battle right now, and that's what this looks like. Casey Carrington, 35 back of Mark Whitley, who leads the overall points. Stephen Miles, Matthew Weeks, Christopher Heller there in the top 5. This, of course, combines Season 7 with Season 8 in the point standings, putting that all together to make that work out. That is a championship that's always been given away here on the All-American Cup season, and looking forward to seeing who can pull that one off here later this season. The team points, Laser Racing been looking real good as they're up by 70 now over CX2. Cornerstone falls to 3rd and only 75 points back. Velocity Eons 25-11. A lot of these guys not moving too much, but obviously still plenty of racing to go here, and a chance for teams to get max points to get them a team championship when it's all said and done. Rookie of the Year points, Charles Van Schaik now back to a 1-point lead over Spence Thompson. Nick Goen, John Osborne, and Christopher Murphy, your top 5 out of those starters. Of course, that just comes down to a collective amount of points for your best starts, basically, is what that comes down to. For those guys, manufacturer points, only 4 being scored. Chevrolet, Dodge, Pontiac, Ford. And Chevy with that 14-point lead over Dodge right now, who's got 16 over Pontiac and Ford. Those guys tied at the 27 points mark right now, as we see cars out there wrecking. All right, we got roughly a minute and a half or so here before we go to the grid for the start of this Bluegrass State 200 here at the Kentucky Speedway, I should say. And of course, presenting sponsor here tonight is Powter Kote Plus. And let's see if I can get the man behind that sponsorship here tonight and do a little check on him. As a matter of fact, too, he is in here. Infinity Racing's Kyle Hall is behind Powter Kote Plus, and I want to get him up here and talk here for a second. Let me make sure I got you on. Kyle, you get a copy?
Yeah, I got a copy, Chris.
All right, bud. So first things first, how's everything over there on the eastern seaboard? I know it looks like looking over at the radar, seeing some bands over in that area. Looking good so far?
I'm right on the edge of it, actually. I just stepped outside just to take a look. It's real windy, but no rain yet, Chris. So I just stepped outside right after qualifying to take a quick look, and man, it's unbelievable how windy it is here. But no damage or nothing yet, so we're hanging in there.
That's good news.
Yeah. So well, I think about 10 o'clock, right at the end of this race, I should be getting some rain. So after this race, I'll step outside and see how bad it is here.
Well,
but
hopefully, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, looking forward to having a good run tonight. It's definitely looking for a top 10. We're borderline desperate to get one here, so definitely looking to have a good run tonight and get us some points.
Well, you got Powter Kote Plus there on the car. You got it sponsoring a race here tonight. Talk a little bit about what you do at Powter Kote Plus.
Yeah, we're here in Daytona Beach, Florida. We've been in the same area for 25 years doing local powder coat and refinishing wheels and motorcycle parts. Here in Daytona, we have the bike week that happens twice a year, so we keep it busy, and we like to have a little fun here when our spare time and sponsor our little All-American ARCA Series Pontiac Grand Prix here tonight. So we're looking forward to having a good run and got to get back on track, Chris. So I appreciate you tuning in tonight, checking in. You guys have a good broadcast.
I appreciate that, man. Well, hey, best of luck to you tonight, and we'll go get you ready to race.
Sounds like a plan.
All right, sounds good. Kyle Hall there from Daytona, in the Daytona area, I should say, as he's getting ready to go racing here tonight. And, of course, that area has been affected a lot here recently by the storms. Let's go trackside for the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
All right, cars are on the track. Let's take a look at the starting lineup here at the Bluegrass State 200, as a lot of this field broke the track record tonight. Casey Carrington on the pole alongside Matthew Weeks, the top two from Indy last week. If you remember how that race finished out. Going to be interesting to see how it starts here tonight. The Thompsons get row two. No relation, by the way. Spence and Justin there in third and fourth. Steve Ritter, Josh Dillon, row three. Row four, Ken Robnett and Nick Gowen. Stephen Miles, Craig Martin there in row five. Kyle Ethier, Trevor McLaughlin in row six. Taking a look at the rest of your starting lineup here. Row seven is where you see Brad Delph and Dylan Rosenberg. John Osborne, James Silvers, Thomas Stokes, and Charles Van Schaik. Daniel Giroux, Jared Mahan, Christopher Murphy and Nick Sargent, Ryan Strunk and Kyle Hall. They're in row 12. We'll get the green next time by. Austin Bloom and Nick Leo, Sam Harrell and Hunter Cannon. They're in row 14. Row 15 is Justin Ray, Jake Vanowski, Nick Terrell, Matthew Casbar in row 16. Stephen Melnick and Mark Whitley all the way back here in 34th. Did not have a good qualifying effort in the 77. Kyle Gray, Stan Carnathan there in the 33rd and 34th positions. As, got a few cars that have not gridded, so we'll have to see what that situation's all about. Of course, 134 laps, 73 degrees track temp, or I should say ambient temp, 75 on the track, 75% humidity under cloudy skies. So it is a very humid night here at the Kentucky Speedway, as Matthew Weeks has fallen to the back as he's gotten an EOL. Not sure what that's all about, but Hunter Cannon, Steve Melnick, and Charles Van Schaik all starting the race from pit road as we get ready to go racing. It is race number 8, the All-American Cup Series season. The little ones are in bed. It is time to let these ponies fly for 134 laps as we go green from the Bluegrass State. And our camera is presented by TrackCams22.com. You check them out online on Facebook and in the iRacing forums at TrackCams22.com. There's one car kind of blinking out there mid-pack already. That is probably not the best part to be doing that at. As you see them 2-3 wide. This is the widest 1.5 mile track in all of racing right here. I mean, I guess you can count Twin Ring Motegi in there too, but the American iRacing tracks, we'll call them. Almost, 60 to 70 feet, I believe it is, of racing room here as Casey Carrington will lead lap number 1. As Justin Thompson's in the outside, going to try to get the lead from him. Into 12 of Josh Dillon. Look at this. Going to go P2 and at Dodge, that number 12. Dillon looking to lead some laps for the first time without pit strategy. This track very abrasive, very bumpy. That was the reason for the repave actually back a few years ago, but then they decided to change the track at the same time. Probably not the fondest of ideas, obviously, because nobody races there anymore. As off turn 4, look at this! Josh Dillon leads a lap. Hang on, let me make sure the ground's not freezing here. What in the world? Am I on the air? What is happening here? All Josh Dillon has to do is lead 3 laps, and I think he beats his total of amount of laps led in his career. He's going to combine and lead a second lap right now. That is very cool to see for Josh. I remember, I think it was last season, Casey and I had a conversation, and he mentioned that Josh had never led a lap, so I was in there poking fun at the guy. I'm like, dude, like, put strategy together. Go out there and lead a lap. I mean, come on. And, like, I think he finally did later on that season, and there he is tonight, just leading straight out so far here at lap number 4. As you watch Mark Whitley here, already up to the 25th position, up 9 spots already. John Osborne down 11 right now, early in this race. Check out Trevor McLaughlin here, the Snickers 66 car. As he's under attack is Kyle Ethier. Here comes Dylan Rosenberg to their insides. Oh, Ethier clips the apron. That is not your friend at this track. Just a reminder to Kyle, this track is plenty wide. You do not need the apron. Good evening to you, Brantley. Hopefully you're having a good night, sir. Up front, Casey Carrington, Justin Thompson going to take the lead back here at lap 7. And going to bring Spence Thompson with him. And Dylan going to fall all the way back to 4th. I think he feels pretty good about leading the first couple laps of this race. And now he's like, all right, y'all can take back over. I've led my laps. Check back here with Nick Leo, the 19th position here. He's got the 7 inside of him. Jared Mahan, the rookie. Ryan Strunk, Daniel Drews. You got rookies all around him. 43 of Samuel Harrell. Kyle Hall back there behind him. Just an FYI, I am trying to keep an eye on the radar just to make sure it doesn't lock up. I know there might be a few people watching it, just trying to pay close attention to it. And I'm trying to do that because I know for some people they are wanting to see this race and not miss what's going on. And unfortunately, I can't give you like any kind of live coverage right now. But what I can get you is the radar at least to see where the storm is and stuff for those down in that area. Like I mentioned, Kyle. Let's see who other drivers I saw tonight. You got Nick Gowen, I believe, is being affected by the storm right now. Stephen Miles, who's out there right now in a championship race as we watch Ken Robnett to the inside of the 31 for 5th. There's Gowen right there with Steve Ritter to his inside now. Miles up near Atlanta, so they're starting to get the weather in that area. So this storm is wreaking havoc down in the southeast. And it's even going to affect me, and I'm all the way up near Michigan. Check on Matthew Weeks back here. Matthew started in the back after qualifying outside the front row. And Matthew 22nd now in this race as we combine a complete lap number 11 this time by. Back up front here in the 6th position as Ritter and Gowen continue to go after it. Going to take the position away, and there is Stephen Miles right there in the 1 car to his outside. Brantley, it's like directly west of it right now, I think, as a matter of fact. Polk County's more... If I remember correctly, Polk County is more of, I used to live in Florida, I should know this answer. Polk County is like over towards Orlando, if I remember correctly, but Tampa, yeah, Tampa's pretty much directly almost to the east of the eye, almost to the south and east of it right now. But they're definitely probably feeling the wrath right now of it. You know, I know this storm they talk about being so wide. I mean, you see the 1 feeder band to the outside here. It's to the east of Daytona and the east coast of Florida there. Those bands can be wicked if you've never been a part of a storm. I do appreciate everybody watching here this evening as Casey Carrington and Justin Thompson right now out front. Spence Thompson, Josh Dillon, Ken Robnett right now your top 5. As Weeks continues to roll up here through the field to the inside of the 43. As who's that? So, you know, that's Kyle Hall blinking. Oh boy. Kyle's probably trying to fight onto his internet right now. Ritter, he's got Miles there behind him now. Craig Martin, Dylan Rosenberg here at the end of the top 10. Kind of mad now that I don't remember exactly where Polk County is. I know you said between Tampa and Orlando. I'm trying to remember the towns in that county. See, I grew up in Indian River County, which is like Vero Beach, so that's just south of Melbourne on the East Coast. So I've been a part of plenty of storms, so that's why I was like, I got plenty of hurricane knowledge here, like, from being a part. Let's see. Plant City, is that Polk County? Might even be Lakeland. All I remember is Al Bundy scored 4 touchdowns in a high school football game for Polk High. Here's your Married with Children throwback for you tonight. As Kyle Hall, or I'm sorry, that's Kyle Ethier, wrong Kyle. Trying to battle James Silvers here for the 11th position. Which, did you go to Lincoln? Did you go to, oh God, what's the other one there? Tallahassee. There's like 2 big ones. Tallahassee, Lincoln, and Tallahassee something. Yeah, they're going to get lucky, it looks like. They thought the storm was going to go right over them. It looks like it's going to go just to the east of Tallahassee. They're still going to get the eye wall of stuff, but yeah, that could be interesting to see. But thankfully, the northeastern part's always the worst part of the storm, and they're going to get the western part. As here's Miles underneath Ritter for the 8th position. I think that's 7th and 8th. As Carrington still at a 10th right now, and Justin Thompson. Those two are pulling away. Ritter still not even around Miles. Miles sends it into turn 3 this time around. Track banked at 15 degrees through these corners. As you see, very bumpy, a lot of character in this track. As Miles moves up a spot, let's go back here with Daniel Giroux and Thomas Stokes in that 37 car. Little Micah Ikes Jelly Beans car. As we complete 20 laps, I'm guessing just from previous races, I wasn't able to get any notes from Casey and I. He's been pretty busy this week getting some things done, so usually he's able to hand me some notes and kind of get some knowledge of what's going on here on the track and so on and so forth. But it should be somewhere in the range of about 35 laps, I'm guessing, just kind of safe here number-wise on fuel. Remember, smaller fuel cells in this series. Tallahassee Leon, thank you for that. I was trying to remember the other one. I've never heard of McClay. So I remember being a football guy I believe it was Casey Weldon, the former Florida State quarterback back in the 80s and late 80s, early 90s. I believe was actually the head coach of that Tallahassee Lincoln team back a few years ago. But Carrington's still leading by a 10th right now. Let's go back here to the 17th position now as Weeks looks inside of Leo. Nick Sargent there behind him. Another driver, I believe, that's down in there in that affected area is Hunter Cannon, by the way. Ran 18 laps. He's taken his car behind the wall in the 28. Not sure what has happened to him, but we've been clean and green so far in this race. See the shadows starting to come into play here. This track, not only is it odd shaped, but it sits in a very odd area right on the border of Kentucky and Ohio and Indiana, right on the Ohio River basically. I remember I went to the first race here and I sat literally at the top of the track, and kind of a funny story. I bought tickets to the race from a scalper, and little did I know that I bought tickets up in the handicap section. True story. And it's funny, I was so far up the track, I could look out and I'm like, yeah, I think that's Ohio right there, and Indiana was right there. I could almost point to the state lines. Here's Dylan Rosenberg looking outside. That's Melnick that they're going by in a 15 car. Off the pace as he's going to come to pit road. As Rosenberg going to pass Craig Martin for position. Move him up to the 9th position, so Martin's starting to fall back here a little bit. And up front, it is Justin Thompson, who has just taken a lead from Casey Carrington. So that's what, our 4th or 5th lead change here early in this Kentucky Blue State 200. Or Bluegrass State, good grief. I'll show you the pass, as I'm pretty sure Carrington's kind of let him go here. That's exactly what happened. Carrington just kind of let him fly on by as the 3 car to the front. Thompson been having some pretty good runs for the most part as he tries to get back up there in this points battle. Another car on the move. Here's Whitley, started all the way back in 31st. I think that 34th, as he now takes the 12th position away. I'm glad you caught that, Brantley. I said blue. I'm like, no, Bluegrass. Oh, man. I stay away from politics. I don't even touch it. Just don't even go. I don't even go there. Oh, man, that was funny. Drew moving up to 14th, or falling back, I should say. He's got Kyle Ethier to his inside, and Matthew Weeks right there behind him. Weeks almost kind of following Whitley around. And doing a good job here so far. Sam Harrell's taking his 43 car behind the wall, so yeah, that's one thing you might see a little bit more of tonight. His car's off the track due to maybe a connection issue or something like that. Refresh the map here for you guys real quick. First I've ever done this, so forgive me. Let's zoom this bad boy in. Slide over there just a little bit. All right, 31 laps in. When will we see the cars on pit road here for the first time? I got another car here on the move. Here comes at 9, the tops. Number 9 of Ken Robnett. Started back in the 7th position. He moves to 3rd here as we complete lap 32. And Kyle Ethier, the first car on pit road. Should be 4 tires and fuel, I would think, there for the 2 car. They still got the, 4 sets of tires. So Robnett displacing Spence Thompson there for position, and now you see the one of Stephen Miles, who's usually pretty good on these long runs, and he's starting to roar through the field here. Miles passing Josh Dillon just a minute ago, so did Nick Gowen, so Dillon's falling back to 7th. And now Miles looking underneath that 89 car. As we ride with him here. Lights starting to come on. As James Silvers comes to pit road. One-time point leader here this season. Brings that 17 car onto pit road. Should be 4 tires and fuel for that driver. Giroux now coming to pit road. Want to let everybody know you have a chance to enjoy some merchandise now from the Captain Esports Network, and we hope you can come out and support the Captain, as he now obviously has shirts and so much more to offer now online. All you have to do is check out our website, and I'm putting it in the chat right now. You can get coffee mugs, not shot glasses, but whiskey glasses, shirts, jackets, and so much more. You can get it all right there on the website, and there's a couple of creative shirts. I'm starting to work on a little bit of those. One that has to do with ARCA braking, and one to do with the old slogan I like to say at the end of each race. Of course, we know I like to say it's not just a game, it's iRacing. Well, this one's not just a shirt. Make sure you check it out there on the merchandise page. So, as right below the 69 and Nick Leo, Ryan Strunk gets a little leaf, says Josh Dillon, Nick Goen, Jake Vanoski now on pit road. Goen leaving pit road right now. Back on the track, very tight exit to pit road here. Got to be very careful of that. Brian Delph going to come to pit road. Nick Leo, Dylan Rosenberg, Craig Martin, Steve Ritter. 4 tires and fuel for all these cars. Again, if you get an opportunity to, make sure you share the stream with your friends and family. Anybody that loves to watch iRacing, feel free to send them over here. And if their response to you is like, well, I want to keep an eye on the weather, don't worry, I got the cover too, as you see. So make sure you send your friends and family over. Give them the link. Tell 2 friends. Tell 2 friends. Love to continue to grow the stream with the YouTube shorts that we've been doing, the TikTok videos, as we are about to hit 1,300 subscribers on this channel. A one-man show with 1,300 subscribers. That's such an honor. I do appreciate that very much. As Carrington, Thompson, all the leaders, Miles, all of them on pit road here. 4 tires and fuel, and they all take off. Matthew Weeks, Christopher Murphy, Charles Van Schaik, John Osborne, all these guys on pit road now. This is right at lap number 40, so obviously looking at a 3-stop race if we do the math right now. Tires and fuel, and Weeks pulls away. 14.3 for him. Murphy, Charles Van Schaik, all those guys on pit road, and this will cycle everything back around to Justin Thompson, who will be the leader of this race as he puts Kyle Hall a lap down. Casey Carrington going to be second. Nick Goen third. Kyle Ethier and Ken Robnett going to be your top 5 here. And once everything gets sorted out, we'll take you through the field and show you who's running where right now in this race, as we still got 34 of the 36 starters on track. Let's show you where everybody is right now. As I mentioned, Justin Thompson leads Casey Carrington by 0.3 of a second right now. Casey doing a good job there. How about Nick Goen up to the 3rd position in the 31 car? Of course, Nick picked up his first win just a couple weeks ago, looking to go to victory lane again here tonight. Kyle Ethier up to 4th and just lost that position, or trying to lose that position, to Ken Robnett as these two go side by side. Robnett in that Dodge, looking to get inside of the Dodge of Kyle Ethier. Should clear him right here, and he sure does. Ethier falling back to the 5th position now. Stephen Miles there in 6th. Miles started in 9th and is slowly working his way up. There's James Silvers. Started 16th. He is up to the 7th position right now in that Bass Pro Shops Tracker Boats number 17. Josh Dillon behind him. running P8 right now. Steve Ritter in the 9th position. Of course, Ritter in the Leaf Guard of Vermont, number 16. Spence Thompson running in the 10th position right now. Spence was running up there near the front a little bit ago, but was one of the later cars to come to pit road. That's why he fell back. Daniel Giroux runs in the 11th position right now. Good drive by the California driver in the 92 car. His teammate Dylan Rosenberg in the 91 car running in the 13th position. Make that, 13th. Just lost 12th to Mark Whitley. He just went by there. Whitley working his way up from the back. Thomas Stokes, 14th position for the Mike Ikes number 37 car. Matthew Weeks started in the back also tonight. 15th position for the 11 car. And Craig Martin in the 22 car. He's in the Deadpool car. Runs in the 16th position for the 22 car. Nick Sargent, the 24 car. Pretty cool looking paint scheme there on the Jeff Gordon throwbacks he likes to run. He is 17th right now. Nick Leo running in the 18th position at Jewel car, waiting for his buddy to show up here in chat. Haven't seen him tonight. Ryan Strunk in the 67 car running in the 19th position, right in front of a battle that we're seeing for the 20th spot. Is Brad Delph trying to get around the 7 of Jared Mahan. They're trying to get a spot in the top 20. Trevor McLaughlin running up front earlier in this race has fallen back all the way to 22nd position. As Trevor just logging laps here, trying to develop his talents here around this series. You see the lap car of Stephen Melnick there to his outside is Christopher Murphy, 23rd position for him. Justin Ray, 24th for that 38 car. As he goes past Mr. Melnick. Oh, Matthew Casborough's off the track. He's over in the grass here in the front straightaway. And he's going to keep it straight, and we stay green. Stan Carnathan, that 97 car running in the 25th position for him. Austin Bloom, 26, a Sprite Mobile, running up there in the 45 car in 26, as mentioned. John Osborne, the Velocity 81 car, running in 27th. Charles Van Schaik started on pit road. He has worked his way to 28th. And it's something he's been doing traditionally in this series, starting all the way on pit road. Nick Gray there, the Moza number 10 car, running in 29th right now. Nick Terrell, who is in the 4 car. Good to see Nick back on track here tonight in that Taco Bell. Very familiar paint scheme for him in 30th. Jake Vanoski, 31st. Casborough, as mentioned, just had that little whoopsies. He's 32nd. Kyle Hall, 33rd, and still unfortunately having connection issues as he's just trying to survive the race here. Melnick in 34th. Harold Cannon off the track. Up here at 3rd, been watching this battle because Miles Robnett and Nick Gowen have been battling here for 3rd. You see Miles has cleared the 9 car, so all the way up to the top 3 now. There's a driver that has picked up his first 2 wins in this series in recent weeks. Matter of fact, both of them at a 1.5 and 2 mile track at Chicagoland in Michigan. Wonder if he's going to be the guy to watch on these 1.5 tracks this season. Could be very interesting. Let's go back here. Got dueling side-by-side battles for 6th as Josh Dillon, Steve Ritter, Kyle Ethier, Spence Thompson, and James Silver's all fighting it out here. Mark Whitley starting to slide into this battle. See if I can get you an update really quickly. if I can here, I'll try to keep up to date with the race, but also as I see my chat's having connection issues again. That's been happening the last couple of nights here, so I apologize for any inconvenience if you're trying to talk to me over chat. Been noticing this issue here of late. As here's the battle for the lead as Carrington is slowly reeled in Thompson again. As they go by Vinoski. Vinoski gives them the whole state of Kentucky to go by. Nice job on his part. Of course, usually for those who haven't had the whole storm issues and stuff like that, never been a part of hurricanes, storm updates normally come out every 3 hours. What they do is a flight is actually going through the storm right now to get readings and pressures and stuff like that, and that's how they do the reporting of what the storm is projected and stuff like that. The reconnaissance flight, as they call it, from the National Hurricane Center. Apparently they had some kind of issue in the middle of the flight earlier, but I'm looking to see if there's any new updates so I can update those who might be curious to know what's going on. As we watch this cool battle, as Whitley goes to the inside, he's going to clear Spence Thompson for 7th. As this field gets really spread out now. So as of 9 o'clock, expected landfall. It is 90 miles south of Tallahassee right now, moving northeast at 24 miles per hour. So do the math. 90 miles directly south, it's going northeast. So that tells you it's going to go east of Tallahassee at 24 miles an hour. 24 times 4 is 96, if that helps any. So it should be, again, right around probably 12, 1 o'clock in the morning, making landfall somewhere in that range. So, not sure if the speeds, wind speeds or anything have gone up. Not seeing anything on that part here. Just know it's going to be bad, unfortunately. All right, so Mark Whitley now up to 6th as Josh Dillon's fallen back to 7th. Thompson back to 8th. Ritter back to 9th. Matthew Weeks, again, trying to follow that 77 through. Brantley, just to explain here, over on my end, it says chat disconnected and then connected. That's why I was like, it looks like I'm having issues or something. Ken Robnin on pit road. Not sure if there's an unscheduled pit stop or what the deal is here. Lap 58. There's only about 20 laps or so on a run. He's coming in for tires and fuel. My only guess here is he's going to try to make this on one stop the rest of the way. So he's kind of going off strategy here. Hit at 59, go to, say, lap 90-ish, which would be 40, and then go to 134. But that would be 44 laps, so he's going to need to find some laps, I think, in here. So a very curious strategy there on his part. Battle back here now is Josh Dillon and Matthew Weeks. Again, appreciate the viewers for hanging out here tonight. If you're new to the chat, hit that subscribe button. If you're not new, we still appreciate coming and hanging out. And I know you probably came here to watch racing and not me talk a little bit about weather, but I'm doing both tonight because I know there's some drivers in this series and maybe some that are a part of other series that watch here on the Captain eSports Network and want to kind of keep everybody in the know of what's going on, especially if you have relatives down in the Florida area and stuff like that. And I'm trying to cover two birds with one stone because obviously it's a pretty important event. So appreciate everybody hanging out and putting up with it. Actually, here's what I'm going to do for a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and take the map off here for a little bit and let the race go on, and I'll keep you up to date with what's going on there. As Thompson leads this thing over Casey Carrington by 0.5 of a second. And I want to give a shout out to 40 Racewear and Jim Herrick for always helping us out with gloves and shoes that you can race out here on the racetrack in your simulator. Make sure you check out 40racewear.com for all your racing needs. If you're looking to do some sim racing or love doing sim racing and you want to get some gloves and shoes for to enhance your performance or comfortability, make sure you check out 40racewear.com. And that's your top two battle right there. As it's kind of settled down, let's go back here to 12th. As here's Daniel Giroux, Kyle Ethier, Craig Martin. As we come up to 4 laps and a halfway point already in this thing. As James Silver's coming back to pit road now. This is at lap 64. $70 laps to go, 35 and 30. I'm guessing this is Silver's now trying to split this race in half or something. So some interesting strategy call coming up here. Four tires and fuel, and now he's sitting there. Uh-oh. Speeding police for Silvers. As Dylan looking to get to the inside of Rosenberg for the 10th spot now. As I mentioned before, and I double-checked myself, and I believe this is fully accurate, there's only been one start at this Legacy Kentucky track. It happened in 2021 in October at Season 2. Tate Lytle went to victory lane in that race that had 200 miles but had 7 cautions in it. So we're a little ahead of that schedule right now, as we're on one of the longer runs that we've had in All-American Series history, especially to start a race here. As we hit the halfway point this time by. As Stephen Melnick comes to pit road. Let's go back here towards 23rd as John Osborne, Justin Ray, Jared Mahan battle it out for position. Right behind the 00 Charles Van Schaik, who, after starting on pit road, you know he wants a yellow. Kyle Hall comes to pit road in the 87 car. Leaders. Here we go. Casey Carrington at halfway coming in. Gonna bring Nick Goen there behind him in the 6th position. Round number 2 of green flag pit stops as the pole sitter pits. $14.8 for he and Goen. Good stops there. 11th position now as we have shuffled a little bit around as Ryan Strunk, Thomas Stokes, and Nick Leo all here in this battle. Along with the car of Christopher Murphy, that 21, joining this battle. Oh, easy. 37 got a little loose there. Nice save on Stokes' part, able to collect it back up as Daniel Giroux comes to pit road in 92. We look high above this mile-and-a-half track. As Brad Delph comes to pit road now. So as we come up into the second half of this season, as we've kicked off the 8th race here tonight, a big shout out to Sim Racer Hub, as Clinton Sneed, hopefully we'll see around here for these last few races of the season, does a great job and has done a phenomenal job with upgrading the website with so much knowledge. And I'll be honest with you, I take full advantage of it all. Any kind of number and stat that I can see that'll help me in the broadcast and stuff, I do appreciate Clinton for doing that. And matter of fact, let's go look at some random stats here really quickly. Let's take a look at the speedways in the career of the All-American Cup Series. And I'm going to go hit the average finish button here. And we're going to take a look down here. And for drivers with 30 or more mile-and-a-half starts, your best average finish belongs to Mark Whitley. 31 starts on mile-and-a-half or speedway tracks, if you will, averaging a 7th place finish in his career races in the series. Casey Carrington would be the next active driver at 8.7. Matthew Weeks right there behind him at 8.7. Stephen Miles in his 33 speedway starts at 9th position. That's to show you who are the better drivers. Christopher Heller, who's not here tonight, 47 career starts, an average finish of 10.1. So that right there, all done on that website at Sim Racer Hub. It's a real cool one. If you're got your own league or something you're looking to do, trust me, it does all the work for you, from the schedules to point standings and so much more. You can check out at the Sim Racer Hub website. All right, so 76 laps complete here in this Bluegrass State 200 at the virtual Kentucky Speedway and iRacing. Appreciate everybody hanging out with us as more pit stops. Justin Thompson coming to pit road with Matthew Weeks, Spence Thompson, Nick Leo, all these guys in here at lap 77 now. Tires and fuel as the leader pulls away as Stephen Miles and Mark Whitley come in now, along with the 4 of Nick Terrell. And this should be all 4 tires and fuel here. And again, they'll have to make one more stop, and that's where it's going to get really interesting, because we're going to be down to roughly 20 laps to go or so in this race, if this stays green. Austin Bloom, Kyle Gray on pit road now. And that hands the lead to the 21 of Christopher Murphy. As he brings the Velocity Motorsports 21 car in. His caution! Dick Vanowski goes for a spin. right here at pit road. He and Craig Martin having some issues, and now they're going to play fender tag again here. And Deadpool's going to go, oh, no, look out, guys. They're arguing or something here. Bowman Gray Stadium on line 1 as yellow comes out. And that just threw a big old wrench in this race. Let's see if we can get a quick replay before Lubinowski gets loose and just gets down into the 22. And the 81's going to get caught there by the caution. That's why he's trying to lock it down. Martin and we're trying to get here on the track. And, well, things be escalating here. So this helps out Ken Robnett and Christopher Murphy to a point. A lot of cars are going to stay out here, but those cars are going to come in for tires. So is John Osborne, I should say. But let's see where this actually starts. Got to go back a little bit here. Lubinowski just loses the back end right here. It looks like he's trying to catch it, and then Craig Martin's there to help him out. They both lock it down here, and then they find their way to come together here. See, I started looking at the track, and I saw Goins and Thompson and those guys. I'm like, oh, hold on, boys. So there you go, 75 laps to start out. Or 78 laps, I should say, to start out before the caution comes out here. And I mentioned Carrington, Goin, Thompson, Miles, Whitley going to stay out. And we have now, from what I'm seeing, 20, I think that's 17 or 16 cars on the lead lap. A lot of lap down cars here in this race. All right, so now I'm going to go and look here really quickly while I have a moment and can turn my camera away from the... Oh my God, Atomic Burrito. Some of you guys might know him. He's a viewer of ours a lot here on the stream. He tweeted at Jim Cantori wants an autograph. That's hilarious. Trying to see. As we should get the green next time by. Yeah, it's getting closer and closer to landfall, it looks like, is... Helene. They've just put out some tornado watches out in Carolina now, all the way up to Charlotte. I know Charleston, South Carolina had a warning earlier. But, looks like Steinhatchee, Florida. Might be kind of the area where it looks like the storm might be heading. And 160 mile an hour wind gust. Man. All right. Hopefully everybody's okay. I see Kyle Hall's in the pit still for 12 minutes, so hopefully he's okay. I see Kyle Ethier. He's up in Connecticut, so I know he's okay. But hopefully Kyle's internet is not messing him up here, because doesn't take much in these kind of storms. As we come to the green flag, Casey Carrington and Nick Goen on the front row. Justin Thompson, Stephen Miles, none of these cars came to pit road under the caution. As we go green, first car on new tires is going to be Ken Robnett, and he is in the 11th position right now. As Whitley slides in front of Miles for 4th. This was the caution that some of these guys like Whitley and Weeks and what else was I looking at here? Charles Van Schaik, those guys that started on pit road. There's Nick Leo's biggest fan. I was waiting for him to check in. I even called you out earlier. As Dylan and Robnett here battling for the 10th, 11th positions right now. And caution coming right back out. Stan Carnathan has gone around and crushed the wall over here in turn 4. And cautions breed cautions, unfortunately. Let's see what happens to the 97. And way up here, top side of the groove. Oh, and the 13 gets loose right in front of him. Nowhere to go. It's just a tough break right there. Oh yeah, big loose right there. Just, I mean, Stan just unfortunately wrong place, right time. As caution comes on again, and looks like Ken Robnett's coming back to pit road, so not sure if the 09's got some damage or not. Let's do some more weather updates. Let's have a little, I mean, I don't want to say have a little fun with this, but let's do some checking in on some people here. Let's talk to our fourth place driver here, Nick Goen, who's got his Aeons Motorsports team here with Christmas lights in Discord, apparently. So Nick, obviously got a copy?
Yes, sir, I do.
All right, Nick, just I'm more checking on you. I know a few of the drivers here in the series are being affected by the weather. How's it in your area right now?
It's raining. I haven't heard the wind pick up quite yet. I mean, luckily it seems like the storm has slowed down a little bit in pace. So it's going to be like looking around 2-3 o'clock is when it's probably going to be
That's not good.
getting really, really windy. So it's going to be a long night for me. I know that for sure. So I mean, probably won't get any sleep tonight. So, but we'll see what happens.
I know your pain, my brother. I've been a part of a few of those, and you saying slow down scares me, because usually in a storm like this, it slows down. It means it's got more rain to fall. Definitely scary there. Well, good to see everything's okay here so far, and obviously race looking pretty good here running fourth.
Yeah, shame that caution came out. I feel like Casey and I were on the optimal strategy there. We had a decent gap to the rest of the field behind us that had stayed out longer. Granted, they would be faster at the end, but I feel like we had enough of a gap to where the tires evened out by the time that they caught us. So shame that the caution came out, but that's racing.
That is the way it goes. Let's see if you can get yourself win number 2 here tonight.
All right, thank you.
Yes, sir. And be safe, by the way. Nick Goen in the 31 car. I don't know whose idea it was. We got to figure out who put the Christmas lights up in here. In his chat there is, we just lost Stan, it looks like, out of the chat there. So Nick Owen is running 4th right now in this race. And what I was saying about the Christmas lights, they had like some kind of, I think it was yeet that was being said or something in chat. It's kind of funny. But thank you, viewers. Appreciate everybody hanging out here this evening in the Bluegrass State 200 presented by Powter Kote Plus from the Kentucky Speedway here. So it's been up and down throughout the night. A lot of things going on. So appreciate all the viewers coming and hanging out. And Casey Carrington and the league does too. So let me put that also in there, that we're very appreciative for all of you. Let's let's talk to Josh real quick. Let's have a little fun with Mr. Dillon. Josh, get a copy?
Yes, sir.
All right, so who paid you off to go lead those laps earlier?
I paid them.
Ah, so also you, so you literally have led, what, 2 laps in your whole All-American career, and you go and lead 3 tonight.
Well, it was like 8 last time I checked. But,
Oh, okay,
you know,
fair enough. But still,
we'll fudge the numbers.
Hey, how cool is that, though, to be up front in a race? Because normally it's like in pit strategy and stuff, you've been doing that, and I know we've kind of picked on you, but to go up there and take the lead, that had to be pretty cool.
A little nerve-wracking. I think after, 2 or 3 laps,
I
was
don't
like, all right,
belong
you guys
here.
I was like, I'm done.
Well, good
But it was
luck.
good to sit there in 4th and keep up.
Yeah, and you're still there right now, 10th position here. Get some track position, get back up there.
See what we can do.
Attaboy. Josh Dillon running up in the 10th position right now in his CX2 car. Believe it or not, that had some likings of, oh God, I forget the guy's name. Oh, good dude too. Michael Steffen, who once, he's a short track guy. And me and Telder and the guys had him run a super speedway, and he was up front as Carrington's going to launch here for the green flag, lap 89. And somebody pushed him, I think it was Telder, pushed him out front in the super speedway race. He's literally yelling at him like, I don't know what I'm doing up here, help me. Some of the funniest stuff I've ever heard. As here we go, Carrington, Thompson, Whitley now up to 3rd as he gets inside and going and makes the pass. Miles to 5th. And 16 cars on the lead lap, and here comes Justin Thompson for the lead. Tried to slide up in front of Carrington. He's still there at his quarter panel. And he's going to clear him, so move Thompson back to the front as he and Carrington have pretty much dominated this race, but there are some new customers joining the battle at the front as here comes Mark Whitley, the 2-time champion. Stephen Miles back there in 4th himself, and then Nick Goen, and then Matthew Weeks just making a pass. Back there for 5th, and now the 91 slides up of Rosenberg, and that's going to bring Spence Thompson into the battle. This track opens up a little bit more here, starting to see a little bit of a top groove start to really come into play here. Plenty of room around this track. As Carrington outside of Whitley for 2nd. And Carrington holds him off right now. Of course, this being the last broadcast of the week. For those curious, obviously we'll be back on Monday. More league racing 4 days next week, Monday through Thursday, as it's been here the last few weeks. I appreciate everybody's support, but be on the lookout because YouTube shorts and TikTok videos are going to be coming out every day throughout. It's something I've been trying to do to catch up here, is get one video released every day as I sit there at the airport waiting on the plane to get here. I will usually get a video up sometime early morning. And something tells me these next couple days I'm going to be waiting on a plane to show up, so We'll see as Miles gets to the outside of Carrington, who just got loose off the back straightaway there, and he's going to lose another position to Matthew Weeks now. That 9 car kind of struggling, and now Justin Thompson's going to come to pit road. This is an interesting call. As most of these guys pitted only 25 laps ago, and a drive-through for Thompson. Did something happen on the restart? Well, thank you, Brantley. Let's go review this. Change lanes at the restart. Right there. Moved to the bottom. Cannot change lanes until the restart goes green. Let's see let's see it again here. And that's until you get to the start-finish line, oh, by the way. And it's because of that, Mark Whitley now goes to the lead. Matthew Weeks to second. Stephen Miles to third. And that had to be a tough call to be made because obviously there's no in-race admin. So this is a tough situation there for Justin Thompson. I want to look at this one more time here. Everybody pretty much, everybody hold their lane there, and you just see where the 3 car pulls at the bottom. It's a tough break there. So Whitley, Weeks, Miles, Carrington, your top 5 now. Steve Ritter having a great run in the 5th position. As we have 35 laps to go here, still got one more pit stop. Again, next week for these guys, it's the road course at Watkins Glen. We'll do some road racing next Friday night, 8:15 Eastern Time. As we already go into the month of October. Good fight right here. Going under attack from Rosenberg and Josh Dillon. Daniel Giroux joined in this battle now too. So 5 cars. And there's Charles Van Schaik. Charles, unfortunately, is a lap down in the 17th position. He's just trying to get the lucky dog and get back on the lead lap here. As Carrington's going to come to pit road. 32 laps to go. This seems a little early, but maybe splitting the run in half. As here we go, 4 tires and fuel for the 9 car. And Stephen Miles, Dylan Rosenberg, and Nick Goen all coming in now. So here we go, the final round of scheduled pit stops here. As Miles and Rosenberg and Goen get into their pit stall, so does Thomas Stokes. Stokes having a pretty solid run here. Not sure if it's his first career start or not. Everybody pulling away, 4 tires and fuel. Here's Ritter, Daniel Giroux, Spence Thompson all on pit road. A little bit of a slower stop there of 15.4 is. Uh-oh, Ritter speeding on pit road, it looks like. Tough break for the driver of the 16 that's got caught. Is now Whitley and Weeks within 0.3 of a second, less than 30 to go. The HDR 77 car. Looking to get another win. Matthew Weeks looking to go 2 in a row after his win at the Brickyard last week. As Whitley tries to stretch it out here before he comes to pit road here for the final time. 0.4 of a second lead. And Josh Dillon there in the 3rd position. And here comes Whitley right now with 26 laps to go to pit road. And you got a very early pit stop here, or very early pit stall, I should say. 4 tires and fuel for the 77. As 21 comes in also. As Weeks and Dillon and Delph all come to pit road now. More tires and fuel for the 2-time winner here this season. Weeks out of the pits and now seeing where everybody else is going to go here. And when will those guys come to pit road for the final time? So John Osborne, Ken Robnett, Casey Carrington, Stephen Miles, Mark Whitley now your top 5 in this race. here as Weeks looks inside it going. This is for 6th. So it's a question now, is it the long run on the tires? Is it the track position? What is going to be the key to get your car to victory lane in this race? There's John Osborne now. Inherits the lead, and he comes to pit road. And this will hand the lead to Ken Robnett, who pitted at lap 88. And took fuel only. And would expect him to get to lap 88 and 40, we'll call it, is 128, which would be 6 laps to go. I would expect him to be in a lot sooner. So maybe we'll call the next 5 to 10 laps this 9 car on pit road for tires and fuel. We'll need as much fuel, obviously, to get to the finish. Unless he can find a way to go 45 laps or so, which in this case actually would be 46 to be exact, and I don't see that happening. Daniel Giroux and Nick Leo battle here, the 9th position. So, hey, thank you again to the viewers hanging out here this evening. Hopefully you've enjoyed the broadcast. And again, we'll be back Monday night for 4 nights of racing again in a row. And that'll start at the Kansas Speedway Monday night. So looking forward to that. See what tracks we got. Kansas, Daytona, Bristol, Watkins Glen will be the 4 tracks next week you'll see racing from on the Captain eSports Network. And hopefully you can join us for one of those at least. I'll remind you to check out the Captain merchandise store where you have a chance to get some shirts and other great items, including an Arca Break shirt that's now on there, and also a, this isn't just a t-shirt shirt. And there's more coming. Got some this weekend that we're going to put together, my wife and I, and put out there. Some tough racing there, as you saw. 38 of Ray, the 12 of Dylan. Those guys got around the 17 of Silvers. As we go back here, a battle for 3rd as Mark Whitley and Stephen Miles go at it. This is right behind Casey Carrington, who's up by a half second now. .16 laps to go as Ken Robnett leads by 13.7 seconds over Carrington. Whitley is 3rd. Weeks is 4th. Miles is 5th as Nick Leo comes to pit road. And of course, the $1 million question is, Robnett got something that we don't know in that car, as Whitley now goes past Carrington for position. Leo comes to pit road, so does Ryan Strunk. Let's check out back here at the 11th position. Of course, Ritter had a penalty, or at least a slow stop, I should say, as Thomas Stokes inside of him for 11th. They're trying to battle him. As I say that, there's Weeks inside of Carrington for 3rd. Let's see if Carrington puts any pressure on the 11. They had talked immediately after the race, and you heard the frustration in Carrington's number 9 car when that happened. But obviously he understood the situation, just wish it was handled different. But one thing I can't help but notice is there's something I missed right here. What happened to Carrington's left front? Because this car all of a sudden has a parachute. Let's see if we can find what happened to the 9 car. This will be a minute before I can find it. Just give me a second. Replays are not easy to find unless they're labeled a different color. Obviously, somewhere here in the last 10 laps or so. You see right there, it's still not. That's at lap 114, so let's fast forward some more. Thompson, and here's Carrington into the corner, and there's where you do see the left front damage, and that's at 119. So let's scroll back here a couple laps, and right here the fender's okay. So something obviously here in the next 3 laps. Oh, the Whitley pass, I'm being told. Oh, okay. Oh, here we go. What happened with the 77? Oh, bonk. Oh, side draft or something there. Oh, that's going to... Carrington in a rough spot here, as now he's going to lose the 4th position to the 1 car. Maybe. He's going to fight it. So Ken Robnett now leads by 6 seconds over the battle for second, Whitley and Weeks. Could this be the battle for the lead when it's over with? Craig Martin just sitting back with some popcorn watching. Might even try to go around it. As Ethier comes to pit road. Robnett came to pit road at 88 laps, which were 2 laps from 40. He's going to have to, like I said, go roughly 46 laps on a tank of fuel to get to the end of this race. Now, I'm not going to rule out the possibility in a cup car like this and in the old Gen 4 car, but that would be crazy to pull off as Weeks gets past for a second, looking to get a 2nd straight win. And there's Robnett. Probably doing everything he can to save fuel here. There is a lot of off-throttle time in the corners. But you almost got to start saving at about the start-finish line. Of course, we all know Stephen Miles a few weeks ago at the Michigan Speedway went long on a fuel mileage race and went to victory lane in that. And nope, Robnett's coming to pit road now, so he's not going to make it. And it leaves it now as Matthew Weeks versus Mark Whitley. As we hit 5 laps to go. Back here to the battle for 7th is Spence Thompson and Dylan Rosenberg go at it, 6th and 7th. Josh Dillon trying to get a piece of this battle after leading some laps earlier tonight's race. We're at 4 laps to go. The lead at 0.4 of a second for Weeks over Whitley. 3 wide now for 7th. As Josh Dillon comes into play here. And Thompson for now is going to clear. And here comes Kyle Ethier into play. Get by here and get a top 6 finish here tonight. 3 laps to go. And a race that has seen a lot of green flag racing tonight. Only a couple cautions. And strategy coming into play, but definitely a fun one to be a part of. 2 laps to go. Dillon has cleared Thompson, trying to get away from him now before this becomes a 5-car battle with Murphy and Giroux potentially joining. As Matthew Weeks going to bring her off turn number 4. Whitley trying to chase him down as the white flag is out. Final lap from Kentucky. Matthew Weeks last week, a little bit of a incidental bump and run put him in victory lane at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. That was after he dominated a race at Darlington, and tonight he's going to bring her off turn number 4 and use strategy in a late race pass. And he's going to take the win here. The Bluegrass State 200, his 3rd win of the season. As Whitley will finish 2nd, Miles 3rd, Carrington 4th. And Nick Gowen finishing 5th, Josh Dillon, Spence Thompson, Dylan Rosenberg, Christopher Murphy, and Daniel Giroux, top 10. Justin Thompson, 15th. After his stop, as Weeks will down to celebrate here. Weeks going to be pretty excited. Ran a 500 lap race at Bristol last night in a league race, finishing 4th after being involved in a few incidents. As he will park it on the start finish line, and we will take you to the finishing order and how they finished up here this evening, as Matthew Weeks goes to victory lane by 0.6 of a second over Mark Whitley, Stephen Miles, as those guys pretty much wash out their points battle, finishing 2nd and 3rd. Casey Carrington 4th, Nick Gowen in 5th, Josh Dillon 6th, Spence Thompson 7th, Dylan Rosenberg 8th, Christopher Murphy 9th, and Daniel Giroux finishing 10th. John Osborne 11th, Brad Delph 12th, Steve Ritter 13th, Thomas Stokes and Justin Thompson finishing in the 15th position. I was looking over at the times. I wonder if Thompson took 2 tires. Or maybe didn't have any tires. I don't know. Ken Robnett 16th, Charles Van Schaik 17th, Nick Leo 18th, Nick Sargent 19th, Ryan Strunk 20th, James Silvers 21st, Nick Terrell 22nd, Austin Blue 23rd, Jared Mayhem 24th, and Craig Martin finishing in the 25th position. 26th to Kyle Gray, Trevor McLaughlin 27th, Jake Bonoski 28th, Stephen Melnick 29th, Kyle Ether 30th, Justin Ray 31st, Dan Carnathan 32nd, Matthew Casbar 33rd, Hal 34th, Sam Harrell 35th, and Hunter Cannon finishing in the 36th. As we'll talk with the third place finisher here tonight. As obviously Miles finishes third here. First and foremost, weather check there in Atlanta. How's everything there? Because I know you guys have gotten a lot of rain already today.
Right now, I mean, I haven't been outside, but I hear it, and it kept my baby fast asleep. So that was one good thing, and I was able to finish a race without no power going off. So I guess it's my lucky day.
Two major goods right there. The baby's still out, and the power's still on. Does that mean anything else can happen the rest of the night?
Oh no, I'm gonna have a good night's sleep through this rain. I'm gonna have the power go off tonight. we gonna sleep good. That was a long and tough race right there.
Yeah, I was gonna say, talk about that a little bit. You had some great battles. You worked your way up from the ninth place starting spot and get yourself a top three.
Yeah, man, I had to work my way up. I was behind the ball again, then get my second lap in, and I felt like it was gonna be a top 2 or 3, and just riding out behind those guys. I lost so much time to Thompson and Casey by the time I got to third, and we were just running the same lap. So I mean, I was thinking about pit strategy or whatnot, and it was going green, and I was just like trying to figure out what can I do and what not to overthink it and mess up my race. So when that caution came out, it was like, okay, it's a reset button. And then the other one came out, and I seen how good Casey tires was after, like, I don't know, about 7-8 laps he had on us compared to everybody else. So I was like, oh, tires might not be big of a deal after 5-6 laps. So when he pitted, I chose to come in right behind him to see if we could get a jump on him. And how it looked, I probably should have just stayed out with Mark and Matthew, but I think regardless, I would have finished in the same spot, third or fourth. So all in all, from last night, I take this, man. It was a good day.
Yeah, obviously, and a fun race also, as you guys got the battle up there towards the front, and a great points night with everything that's going on around you right now. So obviously, to be able to get a third place finish coming out of Kentucky and going to a road course, which all of a sudden you go from frowning to smiling. I know it's going to be exciting next week.
Yeah, man, I guess all the practice and my girl give me the F1 wheel and
look out now.
Kind of paid off. So yeah, I mean, like Mark told me in the chat, man, I make it hard for him to gain points, but I told him he make it hard for me to get any distance because them two started in the rear of the field. So the track was so bumpy, it was so on the edge, and if you just overdrove it, you was gonna kill yourself like Ether did. And man, we're going to go to Watkins Glen where Wheatley and some other guys are fast, and the only thing I can do is just put some time into it and just consistently get a top 3 or top 4 finish. I know Casey tell me I need to get bonus points and all that, but I'm just going to keep doing what works for me, man, and try not to let my emotions from other nights take my toll on Thursdays, and just try to keep a clear head, man, and hopefully we'll be there at the top.
There you go, man. We'll send some shout-outs if you haven't already, and go from there.
Man, shout out, I'm gonna say him first, my Lord and Savior Christ, man. Hopefully, you know, God bless all the people that's in the hurricane right now that's going through it and having tough times. Hopefully they stay safe and we can make it through this. And thank my teammates, Weeks with a back-to-back wins. I guess it was a good investment getting them on the team this season because we're good in team points right now, and I know that's a big thing that I want to get this year. Thank my girlfriend, thank my mom and dad for watching. Thank you, man, for putting these good broadcasters on. Thank Casey, because I'm starting to realize how good of an admin he is compared to other places. So thank him for running this good league, and it was pretty much clean, man. And appreciate the fans for watching, and that'll be it.
Attaboy. Congrats, and stay safe, and we'll talk soon.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely. Stephen Miles finishing in the third position here tonight. As obviously hope for the best, obviously, over in that Atlanta area where he is. And yeah, we'll talk to our second place finisher of Mark Whitley. As Mark, obviously a tough run there tonight, man. You started all the way back in 34th. Not sure, did you let Brantley run your lap or something? Not sure what happened there, but anyways, jokes aside, great run tonight, finishing second.
Yeah, no, the lap, I messed it up a little bit. It won't give me a really good lap to begin with, and then iRacing does what it does, and, you know, I cut the dog leg so much, like coming to the checker flag, that, like, I kind of hit the grass after the lap was over, but it was after the lap, but it still, like, disallowed the lap. So I mean, I think it would only been around, I think, 12th. It would probably only been, like, midfield, like 13th, 14th, because I messed up 3 and 4. I messed up both corners, so it wasn't going to be a good lap, but it would have been better than 34th. But, yeah, it was just patience. Just sit there, bide your time, take the tires, and handle them pretty good. And I wasn't expecting to go green as long as it did. That was kind of a nice surprise. Let me kind of pick through the field, and me and Matthew kind of stayed nose to tail the whole way through, and kind of race just unfolded that way. And I figured people were going to short pit, and being that far back, my strategy was just run it all the way out and pit and keep going, doing it. And I figured it would help me toward the end of the runs with the tire wear, because I figured, you know, those guys that pitted, you know, 10, 15 laps early, they were going to be really slow toward the end of the run, and kind of worked out, and caught a really big break with the first caution, because I mean, I had literally crossed the line exiting pits, and the caution came out. So I was like, that is perfect for me. You know, still had good track position, and it was just kind of at that point I was just kind of like, all right, go. Like, I finally was able to push it hard at the beginning of the run, and, you know, we had another quick caution there, and kind of caught a break with the 3 deciding to change lanes like that, because I was when he did it, I was like, oh, I didn't think we could do that, and someone was like, no, we can't do that. So it kind of helped me out a little bit, and I got around Casey, and he had to serve the penalty, and it was just kind of, I didn't want to run it super hard, but I didn't want to go too easy. Like, I wanted to try to have somewhat of a gap, and I know the whole strategy there was to pit with about 26 to go, which would have been splitting the race in half from where we had that last caution. So I think I pushed it a little bit too hard trying to get to Casey, because I was worried he was too far out, and by the time Matthew got to me, I kind of worn the tires a little bit, and lap traffic, I caught it wrong, and he was able to get up under me, and he just was able to get around me there because I lost some momentum. I feel like if I'd had a little bit more clear track, I could have maybe held him off, or at least give it a little bit more of a fight, because like I was fighting an uphill battle there after he got on the inside. And, you know, second place after starting 34th. I'll take it, especially with the luck I've had recently. Yeah, so Steven's not making it easy trying to make up points on him. He keeps finishing directly behind me, so he's giving me all he's got, and I'm trying my best to close in on him, but he's not making it easy.
How much did that caution actually help you, the first one, to get you back up there at the pack? Because, I mean, that was going to be tough for you to get to the front without a yellow.
Yeah, I think it was honestly perfect. It could not have been any more perfectly timed, honestly. Me and Matthew had already drove all the way through the field, and we were like around 6th or 7th, maybe 5th-ish, before when the green flag, pit stops started happening. We'd already drove up there, but the problem is we were just so far like behind, like on the track. I think we were like close to 10 seconds behind the leader, so it was just it was going to be hard to pick up that gap any. So kind of reset everybody, let us get caught back up, and otherwise I don't think we'd have probably had anything for him because we were just too far back. It went green the whole time. But that was a big break for both of us, but especially me. I mean, I could not have timed it any better. I mean, like I said, I crossed the line coming out of pits and the caution came out, and it put me in front of Matthew, which was another plus. So,
well, great job tonight. Congratulations on the top 3 finish, and obviously keeping it right there with Miles. Obviously, points wise, is man, you got you 3 drivers there, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th tonight within 9 points. So I can only imagine it's not going to go farther away. Going to a road course next week, so send some shouts whoever you like to.
Yeah, shout out to Brantley, helping me through traffic, giving me lap times, and just helping me stay calm throughout the beginning of the race. Huge. Couldn't have done it without him. It was a really big help. Check him out at harpoondesign.com. He can get you a bad, fast race car paint scheme. Shout out to my family tuning into these broadcast races. Shout out to Matthew for a hell of a race the whole race. the rest of the league, honestly, would go in green for as long as we did here. I mean, we only had 2 cautions, and that was a really good race. Shout out to you for putting on a great broadcast, and hopefully next week we can get one spot better at the Glen.
There you go. Huh. I don't know if you heard me. I said in the middle of your answer there, because it is a 1-point separation now between you and Miles for the lead, and it's still only 10 back to Carrington.
Yeah, it's hopefully I don't step on my own, like I did last year, because I think I was leading the race. Yeah, sure. At least I think it was this league. I was leading the race, and I just decided to wreck it by myself. So hopefully we don't do that again, and we can maybe flip the position and maybe get the points lead next week, or at least give them a fight for it.
Absolutely, man. Well, hey, best of luck, obviously, and we'll talk next week.
Sounds good.
All right, sounds good. Mark Whitley finishing P2, and as you kind of heard me say there a second ago, he is literally within 1 point now of potentially starting that run to make it 3 championships in a row here in this series. But speaking of a man who's on a roll right now, Matthew Weeks goes to victory lane here in Kentucky, and obviously another great win for you tonight after the stuff last week, and then of course the Darlington domination, and you had a race last night. You finished 4th at Bristol. By the way, I finished 2nd in a race like that before, and you go to victory lane tonight.
Yeah, things have been turning around. I know the first part of the season, I know I wasn't racing here the first part, but the other leagues, I was winning, I was leading races, dominating, and then a caution come out, and then I just lose the race, or I'll get wrecked on the last lap. And so I finally get some momentum going here, and to win it like that, I mean, that's cool. And shout out to Mark there, man. That was a good battle towards the end with about 10-15 to go. I think it was side by side, man, real close. That's fun stuff right there. I enjoy that.
Talk about starting in the back. You obviously went to the back, started right in the back, tail end Charlie. I was trying to think of the position, but tail end back. I don't know how many times I can say that word in one sentence, but needless to say, man, you work your way all the way through the field, followed Whitley up there, get the cautions you need, and all of a sudden there you are battling with Mark for the win. Talk about that.
I felt like I did Casey wrong last week at Indy.
How'd I know?
About how that, so I told, during practice, like right before qualifying, I told Casey to give me an EOL at the start of the race once we grid. So I qualified just for my pit stall, and then I asked for it just to start back there because of how I raced him. I felt like that was just right to do in me, as a respect thing, I guess. So I did that, and then so I was just taking my time, and luckily the caution came out at the right time there. I don't think I was going to catch the leaders. I think I was too far back, but it was fun. I had a blast. The car was so fun to drive at this track, how bumpy it was, and everyone was racing clean back there, giving room. I had a lot of fun, and then the tire wearing that come into play, I felt like I was really good on the long run, and then once that caution come out and we really stacked up in the top 10, it was go time there, and it was good hard racing. And then at the end of that, I was just playing the waiting game, waiting on Mark to pit. I was going to pit with him, and then he didn't call it out, so I just went with it the next lap, and I just told myself I'm going to drive as hard as I possibly can, and that was good. Like I said before, man, the hard racing we had right there, I live for that kind of racing. Not live for it, but I enjoy that kind of racing on here. And when you can race someone hard, clean, that close, and not bang doors or nothing, I enjoy it. So, and that's another reason why I took that EOL tonight, was because I did that to Casey, and I felt, I was wrong. So
nothing wrong with that. I guess we could call it the asphalt version of the front row challenge, I think is what they call it in dirt racing, where you go to the back and work your way through and get yourself a win. Well, great job tonight, and send some shout outs to whoever you like to.
Yeah, it was good stuff. Thank you, man. And shout out to you, Chris. I tell you all the time, dude. You do a hell of a job every single week. Shout out JV Designs for my other schemes. This is a JD Designs. Hit them both up on Twitter. They paint amazing cars. Everyone that watched, that was a good race, and if only y'all could see how bumpy it was inside the car. Like, the wheel was getting knocked out of my hand in the middle of the corner sometimes. Like, I was a death grip on my wheel just to keep it there. It was crazy. And all the sponsors that's part of the league, and shout out to Casey too. Like I said, I felt bad for what I did to him last week. So hopefully this, he forgives me a little bit for starting in the back and taking that. So still feel bad about that. And yeah, everyone that raced tonight, it was good. So it was good stuff.
Well, great job here tonight. Congratulations on the win. Obviously, I credit you for the decision you made there, and making that call. And obviously, best of luck the rest of the weekend and stuff. And we'll see you next week.
All right, man. Thank you. See you next
too.
week.
Yes, sir. Be safe. As Matthew Weeks wins here at Kentucky in the Bluegrass State 200 here. And big shout out to him for going to victory lane here. Going to show you the points here in a second. But first, for those who obviously have been out here racing and not able to see what's going on, just seeing on Twitter officially, the eye is starting to make its way on land just to the west of Steinhatchee, Florida, over in the Bend area of the state of Florida, the Big Bend area there. Speeds at 130, so it actually weakens slightly. Wind gust up to 155 as it's starting to make landfall, as they call that in weather terminology, over near Steinhatchee, Florida, which I believe is where I forget the storm's name hit there a couple years ago. All right, so there we go. As we're done here from the Kentucky Speedway. I will say, this is not a sponsorship mention or anything like that, but if you are looking for somebody to watch or something during the hurricane stuff tonight, not sure how long it'll be on, but on YouTube, you can look up Max Velocity. It's somebody I kind of will check out on the side and watch what he does weather forecast wise, and kind of keeps it local and stuff like that. So make sure you go check him out. That's his name right there on YouTube and everything. So, all right, let's take a look at the points. As Stephen Miles leads by 1 over Mark Whitley, Casey Carrington is third. James Silvers, Justin Thompson, your top 5. 5 drivers, all within, 63 points, or sorry, 53 points of each other. Still 100 all the way back to 12th right now. So still plenty of racing and plenty of points to be had here in this All-American Cup Series, with Miles leading by 1 over Mark Whitley. That might, and I'll have to check, I think it is the tightest points battle that we've seen at this point in All-American Cup Series history. So as we continue to say each season when we come on the air, it's going to continue to get better and better and better as the driver talent continues to improve here in this series. So credit to Casey Carrington on that. All right, we're going to head out. Next week it is Watkins Glen. The road course will be with you at 8:15 Eastern Time next Thursday night. Our next on-air broadcast will be Monday night from Kansas Speedway, so hopefully you can come join us for that. Otherwise, if you're in the way of this hurricane and in any way, shape, or form affected, obviously our thoughts and prayers are with you. Everybody be safe. Don't do anything stupid. Trust me, I've seen it all, including just now on social media. Somebody decided to leave a crane at the top of a skyscraper in St. Petersburg. That's a smart move. Anyways, we're going out. So enjoy the rest of your Thursday night. Always remember, this isn't just a game. It's iRacing. See ya.
This copyrighted broadcast may not be reproduced, reused, or retransmitted in any form without the authorized written consent of Captain eSports Network. Captain would like to thank all of his loyal fans for your continued support, and he hopes you enjoyed today's broadcast.
The following is a special presentation. From the Captain eSports Network.